And next we'll be talking about from college to bake cakes. So these are all young people, man. These are all young people. Like I said, I'm gonna have to get it together. I'm gonna have to get it together, Sean. I think I'm lagging behind a little bit. These videos have been showing me like, man, I need to make some adjustments. But we're gonna get into the next video.
It's their best unlimited price
For
ever.
$30 a line, I'm switching now.
The network you want, the price you love, only from Verizon.
So it's super important to me that the cake looks and tastes just as good. When you first look at the cake, I want you to feel like, oh my God, what is this? This is amazing. But then when you eat it, I want you to be like, oh my God, this is even better than I thought. Because, you know, there's like a cliche that cakes don't taste good, especially when you look pretty. So I definitely want to debunk that and just have you remember how good cake is. I'm Justin Allen. I'm 19 years old and I'm from Passaic, New Jersey. I'm a cake artist and entrepreneur, and last year I grossed $100,000 in sales. This year,
Wait a minute. 19, not 21, 19 years old. Man, shout out to him. I don't know where this video gonna go, but shout out to this dude.
My
Shout
man
out
is
to
making
him.
100,000 making cakes. Hey, you know what? This is about to be a shameless plug to my stepmom. If y'all want a delicious cake and you on the south side of Chicago or Chicago at all, visit 𝗦𝗂𝗍𝗍. Go to the email them, call them, get you a cake. Her cakes are delicious.
Make sure y'all go support those. Make sure y'all support 𝗦𝗂𝗍𝗍. That and shout out to him. You know, I thought the $100,000 was gonna be able to come from the lemonade stand, but he said, no, we ain't doing no lemonade stand. We about to go bake these cakes. We're gonna go bake these cakes. Shout out to him. Lil ain't no excuses out here, man. 19. All right, let's get into the video. That's wild.
we're expected to gross $200,000. So I chose baking as a profession because it just really allowed me to unleash my creativity, because I'm a very creative person and it's just a great way to portray it. And also I just love to like eat, and especially desserts. I'm a huge sweet tooth, so I can eat my own creation. Pricing cakes is different for everyone. The first thing you need to know is custom cakes are expensive. Cakes really range based on design and like size of cake. So our smallest cake is a 6-inch cake, and that feeds 10 to 12 people. And those start at like $160, but it can really go way higher depending on what they're asking for. The most expensive cake that I did.
Man, I don't think I'm gonna be able to afford this cakes for a minute.
Yeah.
One of them cakes that
especially like
was
wedding
$160.
cakes. The wedding cakes be he definitely making money.
He said, listen, I'm gonna give it to you raw. He said, I'm not for the average American. He said, you got to come with it, buying from me. You want to buy a product from me, you got to come with it. We ain't gonna be, because you know where I'm going. I'm going to Walmart. I go to Walmart, pay $15.99 for a cake. He said, no, I'm starting at $160 for a 6-inch. I can't afford them cakes, man. I ain't know they was that expensive. But he said he's going to gross over $200,000 this year. I think that's what he said the business is going to do. So he said brings in 100K. Here's some. I want to know if that's what he's taking or that's what he made at first, and then the second year or whatever it is, he started to make a little bit more. But we're gonna see as we play the video.
I had saw some on Facebook today that said I base my prices on my skill set, not your budget. And that shows me right now what he's talking about. He like, yo, look at my skills. Look at the type of cakes I can make. I could charge you $1,400 for a cake. It was a quick scene of us seeing him in a kitchen that looks like he possibly is renting it. If we were doing like a little budget breakdown, if that was the type of video, I wonder how much it costs for him to rent out that kitchen space. You know, the ghost kitchens have started becoming popular. Have you ever heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that kind of looked like that space to me.
Yeah, that's actually a good point, because I remember seeing a Millennial Money video about some guy that was doing he had a food truck or something. He ended up getting a food truck, but he first started with the ghost kitchens, and when he going to different places, he would rent them out, use the kitchen to make his food, and then go sell it. So that's a good point. But that's one of those things too, where it's like competence gets compensated, right? It's all based on your skills. You bring them out to the marketplace, and then the market decides. He's charging these prices, and if he's selling, then obviously then you know, right?
It is a wedding cake coming up this August, actually, and I quoted them for $30.
Before we do a little bit more deep diving, how much did you pay for your cake?
To be honest, I don't even remember. I really don't. I don't remember the how much the cake was, but the average cake is about how much, Zora, for a wedding? Okay, so she just brought up a valid point. She said for about 250 people, it was about $1,200. So they price the cake based off of how many slices it can make. So it depends on how many people they're feeding is the price of the cake. But we was trying a whole bunch of cake, and hey, that cake be good too. The cake tastings be.
Gotcha. All right, man. You know you well. I don't know how they do it over there on your side, but I know on our side when we have good cakes, usually we see about people packing about 3 or 4 to 5 to go plates too. So, you know, I don't know how they do it on your side, but yeah.
575. It's not done yet, but it's gonna be huge. It's gonna be epic and very detailed.
Hey.
So I used to bake with my mom.
Hey, I'm gonna sound like you from the last video. Oh, I saw him in my phone. Saw him in Is This Cake, yo. I was watching the show with my students last school year. It was called Is This Cake? And I remember he had school that day, but he was on Is It Cake? And have you ever seen the show, Trey?
No, I ain't never seen it. What is that? Yeah, I think it's
so it's a show where like they have to create cake that looks like other things. So for instance, they'd be like, which one is the basketball? Like which basketball is really a cake? And like the contestants stand like, I don't know, a couple feet away, and they got to be like, oh, is it number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, or whatever? So they be like, number 5 is wrong or whatever. Is number 5 is cake. So then the guy try to slice it, and then like the basketball will fall off the little stage. And then like if you get it right, you get money. And if you get it wrong, the person who created the cake get the money. He was on. Yeah. Okay. I didn't even recognize him. He looked older.
That's dope. I'm gonna have to check that out on Netflix.
Yeah, Is It Cake?
Bro, this dude is and we got people out here that's sitting their lazy ass on the couch want to play video games. 18 years old, don't want to get a job. This dude is 19 years old and he is killing it. Killing it. Shout out to
mom and my grandma for the holidays, like Thanksgiving, and we would make everything from pies to cookies to breads. Anything you could think of was on the table. And eventually I got interested into cakes from YouTube, and she really sparked my interest. I just got into the kitchen and made a mess. It would be like in middle school, high school, I would just keep on practicing, and they would actually come out really good, and I enjoyed it too. I graduated high school in 2021. I didn't go to college. I just felt like it wasn't for me. So currently we only do custom cakes. That's what I'm passionate about mostly. I currently don't have any other staff besides my family members. They work for me. My mom, she helps like pretty much anything I need. She's like the assistant manager.
So like he said college wasn't for him. That's another thing that's highly talked about. Listen, college isn't for everybody, but not everybody's built to run a business either, right? So it's one of those things where you kind of have to figure out, like, if you're not going to college, what's your plan? Some people go get trades, but this guy, he proof of concept. He was able to test this out in the kitchen when he was younger, you know, test it out, and he actually got good at it. And then he put that skill to work. And it's interesting that he got family members working for him. Man, I know people that run a business that say, man, never hire your family members. So that's kind of interesting to me, because sometimes they can get a little bit too comfortable, and then they start showing up late to work, or money start coming up missing, and they not doing what they supposed to be doing. But that's another thing too, though, Shawn. Maybe that's how he's able to keep his expenses low. It could be another reason.
You remind me of a quote from Dave Ramsey. I didn't think about this quote until Dave said it. He said, I'm not going to pay you more because you're family, and I'm not going to pay you less because you're family. I'm going to pay you equally. I'm going to pay you with the market, value as at that time. So I'm hoping, his family is also getting to the bag, and, that they're not trying to take money under the table and things like that, because it will be dope, for this to be a family business that can continue down the line.
I agree 100%. A lot of times you kind of see, like, I know, like in the Asian communities, what you would see is it'll be like businesses like what he's doing, start out small, and then they pass on from one generation to the next, So, and I mean, he's earning, well, I think they're about to dive into that, so we're gonna hold off on it.
Whether it's food shopping, sometimes she'll bake my cakes for me, deliveries, cleaning, anything. My dad, he'll often do the deliveries also for me, especially the big ones. My younger sister, she does my social media, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff, especially editing content, that's huge. And then my older sister, she does graphic designing, so whether it's a logo, or website, anything like that. So our customer base is pretty large. I have some people coming from PA, I have some people driving hours and hours just for a cake, but most of our customers, I would say, are in New Jersey, Northern. So some events I do are baby showers, graduations, weddings, sweet 16s, birthdays, anniversaries, pretty much any event you need a cake for, we do it. Inquiries come from my website, everythingjustbake.com. That's where clients inquire. I have like a whole...
Wait a minute, this bro he make us a supreme cake, bro. That is fire. I've never seen a cake with like supreme cake. That's pretty dope. That's pretty dope. Shout out to him. But I want to talk about this though. The reason why I stopped it here is because one of those things where I kind of hear Anton talk about you allowing people to fail in a controlled environment. And although he's not failing, his younger sister, for example, or you can even make the case for his mother and brother, they're actually learning how to run a business so that they can, so although there are going to be hiccups along the way of, when he's running this business, there's hiccups, I'm pretty sure. They're able to fail in a controlled environment. They're able to fail and learn now in this environment so that if they decide to go off to do something else, whether it's to work for somebody else or run their own business, they'll have the experience. And then they'll say, okay, I've been in this situation before. Here's something else that I can do this differently to make sure that we don't get the same outcome that we had last time when I was working for him.
I like that both his sisters do social media and like they're part of like the branding. I find it kind of funny how like I feel like girls are like business savvy when it comes to social media and branding and things like that. So it's kind of dope that they're also involved in that pushing his product.
100%, man. Yeah, ladies are very smart when it comes to that stuff. Organization, planning, all that. They can be an asset to one's business or to one's life.
Form that asks for their date, what you're looking for, the theme, and oftentimes they upload an inspiration photo. Some people want like a Batman car. Someone wanted a 6-foot lion. Some people think it's like shop rate, like they're really expensive. The problem is they don't always have the budget. So legally, you can't really sell cakes from your home. So we rent a commercial kitchen in Fairfield. Basically, a commercial kitchen is just separate from your home, and it has all commercial appliances, and it's just way more safe, sanitation purposes, and it just provides like a healthier environment. The most expensive thing in running an operation is definitely renting out the commercial kitchen, memberships like Costco, your website, and then just ingredients, of course, because you always got to restock the flour, the sugar, eggs.
So right, Shawn. You was right. Shout out to you. You called it. You called it when you did say that you think that it was rented out, right? You called it. So if his largest expense is the rent, which is $1,000, then he talked about the Costco. I think Costco memberships is on an annually basis. Then you got the website. I don't know how that works, right, with pricing. So his margins might be pretty good, actually. They might. Hopefully they talk about this in a video. But I think his margins might be good, and then I hope he has an accountant where he can write some of this stuff off, because he can write all that off. Those like straight business expenses anyway.
I didn't know that it was illegal to be able to like sell food from your house. I wonder if that's a law that goes state to, because I mean I've seen quite a few videos in the past where people started off making things at home. Like who's gonna just go straight to a ghost kitchen, like to start selling stuff? Yeah, I'm not gonna say that you shouldn't start at home. I mean, to me, it's kind of like obvious, like where you should start. But I don't want to promote anything illegally. This is just for entertainment purposes.
Yep, 100%. I agree. I know, like in Texas, I don't know. Maybe in Texas it's like that too. I've known some people in Texas that has started out with businesses, starting out like catering businesses in their home, but it might be illegal here too, though. But shout out to him. Yeah, we're not saying go do that. Once again, educational purposes only.
So inflation's crazy for everyone. Like I hate buying butter right now. It's just expensive and it's annoying. Flour, for instance, like I used to pay like $10 for like a 50-pound bag. Now it's like over $20 for the same size bag. Eggs, really insane. So I'm constantly going through all different food stores to find the best prices. In terms of marketing, really it's just social media based and word of mouth. Referrals are a huge way of getting business. That's how a lot of my customers come from. And I create like a loyal fan base almost. So I have a lot of loyal customers. I work pretty much every day. I try to take off Mondays. Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays are busy days.
Even he being impacted by inflation. Wow, $20 for that's a lot for some flour, bro.
For some flour. He said that doubled. If we make the assumption that, everything doubled in prices from the time he started, I'm I wouldn't be upset if he, made the cake double the price. I mean, his skills get better over time too. So I'm sure, his prices is reflected in the inflation and his.
True, but check this out too. He said that his customers keep coming back, so they got to tell you something that he has a good product. I'm surprised that people like him, him specifically, he's not on Shark Tank or something.
What, to sell cakes? I mean, how would he be able to pitch his business idea though? Because he is essentially the
right. I mean, but maybe he could get more help. Like he could use somebody like a Mr. Wonderful, who's big into the wedding space. Mr. Wonderful has a lot of business set up for for people that are getting married. He has like winery businesses and all these other businesses. Maybe he could pitch to get more exposure, right? Like a brand ambassador or something.
How about this? Even if he did have the brand exposure, do you think that he'd be able to keep up with the demand?
But that's what he would scale, so he can actually get more funding to actually be able to hire more people, rather than just having his parents and he have to work. Well, he probably still have to work every other day, but he won't be there by himself and with 2 or 3 other people trying to do cakes. He can have more staff to keep up with that demand.
I guess we're about to find out, Trey. Maybe that's his next.
Yeah, maybe this may be a lesson too about running a business, but we'll see.
Scaling, yeah.
That's fine. We're gonna find out.
Usually our minimum is like 6 cakes a week, but the most I've done is probably like 19 cakes a week. I died that weekend. Sometimes my best ideas come in the shower. I love to take a hot, long shower, and it just really...
6 cakes a week. He had 1 week where he had 19. He died that week. As I'm telling you, he's making, so it seems like the money might be okay. And I don't think he's gonna talk about break it down from an accounting perspective, where we tend to look at the margins.
Yeah, I don't think that's that kind of video.
I don't think that's right. I don't think this is the video for that. But it seems to me that he may need a little bit more help. That's what I'm saying. People like him, it may not be Shark Tank, but he probably needs to go somewhere he may need to take on a little bit debt or get some more capital so that he can scale a little bit.
Yeah,
it seems like there's strong demand, but it's him and what is his mom makes the cakes. I don't know about the father, but the sisters are social media or something like that. So it's not enough. He only can produce 6 cakes a week, right? So he's kind of limiting himself a little bit.
I mean, if he keep increasing his prices and people keep buying, it's demand. It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And like you said, his cake ain't for the people that's on a budget.
I mean, that's true. But but the problem that he's gonna run into, he's saying, these referrals, and as he gets more exposure out there, more people are gonna keep coming.
Think about it. Now, all right, Trey, how about this? You telling me that this man scales, to or how about Drake found out he makes a cake and this guy says, I'll make your cake for 300,000, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't think Drake gonna do it? He can. This is like an artist, okay? This is an artist. Drake can be like, yo, I got, my cake made by, what was his name again? By him, right? By the guy from Is This Cake, and it cost me 300,000, right? He gonna be able to make more cakes for 300,000, and he gonna be bringing in way more than 100K. That's why I say maybe it's not always about scaling up, to expose yourself to more people, but depending on who your customer base is, you don't really have to. I definitely agree with you. You could, but I'm just saying you don't have
to. Yeah. You got a point. I can see what I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's true.
It just comes to me just very naturally, and just stick with the idea. I usually sketch it with paper and pen, but I'm a terrible drawer. My birds are V's. That's how bad of a drawer I am. So other people can't visualize my sketches. So then I use Procreate, which is an app that's much easier to use and other people can visualize it. So next year, I'm expecting to at least double our expected gross income.
There we go. So he's scaling. Okay, so he's moving. So I'm kind of curious now, is he going to move into that? Or is that just going to be one place and then he keep doing the ghost kitchen as well? But he may be moving into his own, brick and mortar now. But let's see. I think you're about to talk about the numbers now.
I'm up 200,000 this year, especially because we're opening up the bakery, so it should give me more exposure. And in 3 to 5 years, I hope to have a successful storefront and possibly opening up my second one. maybe a franchise. One of the reasons why I love my job is I'm able to be a part of other people's memories. So like my cake was something memorable for someone else. I know a customer satisfied with their cake is, first of all, their first reaction when like they pick up the cake or they see the cake, they're always like, oh my God, I can't believe this is my cake or something like that. Usually like the day after, they send me a text or like an email saying like, thank you so much for doing this cake. My son loved it. You made my wedding day more memorable. And it's really like heart touching, you know? I became a part of their memory.
Well, you was right, Trey. You want to build a franchise.
Yeah. So that, I mean, and you have a point too though. Like maybe he gets to the point where he's like his income is just growing, and he can hire the people to run those different stores, right? Because ultimately like for the most part with these businesses, like I know like in the Asian community, people that run businesses like this, they work every day. Like it's every day. Ain't nothing wrong with that, right? But he's looking to keep opening stores. So that's why I'm saying, will he be funding this, or will he take on like debt, or from somebody that can give him the money to scale like that? Because then he's gonna have to fulfill more orders. And so he's gonna have to get more people involved. So that's what I was saying. But it seems like his business is steadily growing. Like it's steady growing. And he's 19 now, so you look at 30 years old, no telling where he'd be. He might have 10 or 12 stores. It's kind of like that. Kind of reminds me of like that cupcake place. I don't know the name of it. No, it's not a cupcake. 𝗕𝗓𝗏 Cookies.
Oh yeah, we got that in Chicago. It's right down the street from us.
Yeah, started in one spot, started to expand, and then with that one, you just pull up, right, and you get a box of cookies or something, right? Is that how it works?
I mean, we just walk up to it, and we'd be like, oh, we want this cookie and this ice cream. And then one time they had a promotion for teachers or whatever. So I had to show like my teacher email or whatever as proof, and we had got like free ice cream and cookie.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's franchise. I mean, franchises, maybe he can, I don't want to say he's gonna start something like a McDonald's or something, but but he on the right track. He on the right track. But we're gonna end this video here. But before we end it, I just want to close and say these videos, anything is possible. Anything is possible. We got some folks that still continue to do what Anton talk about, running the Victimhood Olympics, saying I can't do it and I don't want to go get a job. You got people that's 19 years old, they smarter than you, they outworking you, and they out here doing the work, and then they get into the bag. And you got somebody else that started out making $21,000 a year, was able to scale to 500,000, scale the business to 500,000. What's your excuse? The choice is yours. To an extent, you control your own destiny. It is up to you to do the work to get the outcomes. Nobody can save you but yourself. It is up to you, my friend. It's up to you. Do the work. That's all I got to say, Shawn. You got anything else before we get off here?
Like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more. That's pretty much it, Trey.
That's right. And this will be a premiere, but to the next time, stay on the lookout for our next reaction video that we got premiering tomorrow at 7 p.m. But I ain't gonna hold you guys too long. I'm gonna end this video. I'm Trey.
I'm Shawn.
And this is Bag Talk 101. Thank you guys for tuning in.